huge population in the future haven't been built yet makes it a huge opportunity for the African nations to leapfrog the fossil fuels of the past and instead look for renewable sources to power their countries. Studies done by the International Renewable Energy Agency have shown that there is a potential 550 million megawatts of potential energy from solar and wind power available to them. So we decided to look at how they can harness this almost limitless amount of power. The forms of renewable energy that we decided to look at today are hydroelectricity, solar panels, wind turbines, and more specifically concentrated solar power. As Whittle touched on there, hydroelectricity accounts for a large amount of the energy that's already produced. Here you can see. However, due to large periods of wet seasons and dry seasons that can last months or even years at a time, it makes it extremely unreliable. For example, countries like Zambia, which rely extremely heavily on hydroelectricity, suffer from droughts fairly common, and this leads to disruption in power, which helps stunt their growth in all sectors across the country.
Wind turbines are, as you know, a very good source of electricity. There's huge opportunity for it in Africa, but it has to be located in the right regions, say coastal regions. And probably the two best countries to utilise this would be Ethiopia and Kenya. In Kenya, the biggest wind farm in Africa actually is located in Kenya. There's 365 wind turbines, each creating 850 megawatts. So if you compare that to solar panels, yes, as Darragh said, there's huge opportunity. Africa lies on the equator, and sort of huge abundance of sunlight. But the problem is, solar panels under the right conditions work very well, whereas they can actually be effective under very high temperatures. So there's huge sunlight in Africa, but say in the shade, even in the shade, sometimes a day it can be 45 degrees, and they won't function perfectly under that at all.
And so our proposition was to look into CSP, which is concentrated solar power, where a large beam is used with a field of helio scales, which are basically huge mirrors that reflect the light into one certain point from the sun, and this causes an intense energy in this one singular spot. And so we wanted to pump seawater up to this point and basically heat it up with the intense heat to basically generate all of this power. It's generated through the salts in the water, and it can reach up to 232 degrees, where it can then be extracted down and can be used in steam generation and heating, and also desalinated water, which can then be transferred to a distillation plant or can be used in agriculture.
This system has actually already been proven to actually work in African regions, in Morocco actually, with the Noor Khorzazite complex. Noor Khorzazite complex is a huge area covered by 3,000 hectares. To put that into context, that is the size of 3,500 football pitches, or even almost the size of Manhattan in New York. It currently supplies energy that could power cities such as Vienna or even most of Morocco. The location that is in the Sahara proves to be perfect for it due to the enormous size of it, the vast amounts of sunlight, lack of clouds, plus the fact that the region it's in is largely uninhabited and infertile and not much good for much else.
So as we all know, there's a huge water crisis in Africa. there's very little fresh water for the population. The population set to rise, so we need more fresh water. So what we thought we could do was extract water from the sea, distill it, and make it drinkable. You'd have to add minerals, but it can be done. And especially under CSP, they're the unlimited energy production can account to help in distilleries. Because distilleries right now, they're very expensive to install, very expensive to run. 60% of the costs is the energy between heating the water, turning steam and pump. If we had used the nearly unlimited renewable energy resources in the continent, that wipes out 60% of the cost straight away. Plus, looking back 20 years ago, the installation and equipment costs of these distilleries was very, very high, and it's drastically dropping. So 30 years in the future, it'll drop again, and hopefully we'll have a very cheap and very realistic solution to the water crisis. Looking at water pipes and pumping the water through Africa, pipelines that are used for oil and gas now span as much as 8,700 kilometres. Africa north to south is 7,700 kilometres. So it's entirely possible to reach any region in Africa with these pipelines.
With these pipelines, the consequences are limitless. Like, you just look at farms being, crops being grown in the Sahara with irrigation systems provided by these pipelines. This is proven, like, this can affect people's health. Like, if people have ready water available for them, it just benefits their economy completely. There's less spent on healthcare. More people are fit. The lifespan increases. People are fit to work, and this can do nothing but good.
We chose Africa because it's a great plateau for basically this to start. We have, throughout history, we have designated ages to these powers that we use. We're coming closer to the end of the oil age, and now we hope to begin